Sussex taking on Worcestershire. Worcester, last year's winners. 6:55. Sky Sports Mix. Well, 3 or 4 minutes away now. Now, as suspected, we've just had official confirmation that that is it for the day. No more play here today at Old Trafford. England will be relieved at that, no doubt. Would have been a very testing close to the day. I'm absolutely sure of that. It means that they still have an awful lot of work to be done when they come back tomorrow. 2 days left in this game. Coverage tomorrow, by the way, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. Sky Sports The Ashes, of course. Right, so a little bit of time to reflect on the day with Bumble and Mikey. Well, for half a day, it seemed to be going okay. For the next half of the day, Australia have retaken that firm grip.
Well, they stuck in the game, Australia. It was a really good partnership, and they had to work hard, Rory Burns and Joe Root. But Australia, with this plan of 4 bowlers, 3 quick bowlers, hitting the pitch hard, they sustained the pace. I thought Cummins was terrific. Hazelwood has picked up the wickets, so England is still 98 behind. 98 to avoid the follow-on, so they've still got a lot of work to do, but I was impressed by the way that Australia just stuck in the game and then struck.
Well, let's talk to the bowler. That spell from Hazelwood was very, very good indeed.
Yeah, excellent spell, but I think Cummins will feel hard done by because he bowled beautifully before Hazelwood got the ball in his hands, and I think Cummins could have had a wicket or two. But what Australia should be proud of, and I'm absolutely sure they were proud of the fact that when that partnership was going, they weren't scoring runs quickly. That is why when they started to take wickets, they were still in such a very strong position.
Yeah.
If you can keep things tight, don't panic, don't allow the opposition to run away with the run scoring, you still stay in the game for a long while.
Well, nonetheless, I appreciate all those points. Nonetheless, that spell, 6 overs, 2 maidens, 3 for 17. That changes the course of the game. I mean, I know we're not there yet, we're not near the end of the game yet by any stretch of the imagination, but this is persistence, it was accuracy, it was hostility, all the things you expect from your big fast bowlers.
Well, it's real quality. They've got good actions and they're at you all the time. They bowl straight, make them play, and that's what they do. And I think to control the game, as Mikey says, that you're controlling the game, England are not getting away, and it's a real examination, particularly from Cummins and Hazelwood, and then you get your reward. This is very straight, aggressive bowling.
With the gap now, 2 whole days left. I think the weather is getting a little bit better, a little bit more consistently bright. That's a long gap, or a big gap. Best part of 300 runs, 297 runs separating them now. Wickets are very, very precious from now. Somehow England got to find a big partnership from somewhere.
Well,
England's ambitions, that next 24 hours could basically either keep them in with a vague chance, depending on what happens in the next couple of days and at the Oval, a vague chance of getting the Ashes back again, but at the moment it looks like Australia have all the cards.
Australia definitely are the big favourites right now. When that partnership was going between and Root, everybody was thinking, okay, things are very difficult out there, nothing happening.
Tonight, they're at home tonight as Sussex take on Worcestershire, last year's champions. Umpires striding on their way out there, so now's as good a time as any as we're in position to cross over and join the commentary team going home.
Very warm welcome also along to our viewers on the Ashes channel for this 3rd Vitality Blast quarter-final between Worcestershire, the visitors, and the home side Sussex. Worcestershire winning the toss and electing to bowl first. And these are the sides. Worcestershire, very dangerous. Alec players miss this carry. Full house expected here by the season's players. And keenly called up for international duty. No Callum Ferguson, who returned to Australia for personal reasons. So a little bit of a change to the Worcestershire Rapid side. As for Sussex, no Jason Berendorf. They still have the very day.
The only thing you would say is the side they had at the start was probably when they were at their strongest. Rashid Khan, people like that, has not been the same for the last few games. The bowling attack probably not quite as good on paper, but still a very good side and a very experienced captain in Luke Wright. Captaincy has played a big part in the quarterfinals so far. We saw that at Durham, the Lancashire-Essex game, and I think this man on screen is another excellent captain.
Just feel that he holds many of the keys if Worcestershire are to progress to finals day. Very similar outfits both are wearing as well. Can't see any confusion happening over the course of the evening with that. He's going to take the new ball, is Moeen Ali. Of course, one player not involved for Sussex will be involved in the pod this evening. So away we go, and away Sussex go. Remember, this ground slightly narrower and longer. A little bit of a longer hit straight than which ways.
Stay in the middle, please. Come on then, boys.
And there he is, Jamal Mills, alongside us.
That's all, that's all.
Beautifully rehearsed and choreographed.
Really, fella. Little nick for one, Mo.
Obviously, would no doubt itching to play tonight. Still, Sussex do have a lot in the locker. Slightly used pitch as well. Looks a good one. A little bit of cracking.
Do you mean slightly used?
Because there's...
The used.
There you go, there you go. Slightly used. It's not supersonically used.
Yeah.
That's 7 days straight to cricket on it.
Bleach it.
Hence, slightly.
It's that, Mo.
Well, we saw this last night, actually.
Another dot for a shot, Mo.
With Notts bowled, they bowled spin in the power play, and it worked really well. Middlesex went up to it.
Slightly aerial. Smart bit of work.
Dummy ever works. A little fake, like I'm going to come at you, and then just stay in your crease.
It may to some, not necessarily to someone with his experience.
Molly, you.
Phil Salt, devastating player, well, both are.
Nice, Mo.
A very tidy start from Moeen Ali and from Worcestershire. First over been completed, 3 without loss. I'm just having a look at some of the statistics from the season this year. 4 chasing wins, only 2 setting a total.
Right down over.
Average score about 156. So just numbers to keep our eyes on.
2. That's 2.
And Charlie Morris, not a regular in the T20 side, but comes in for this quarter-final. Just a little bit of twisting on those slightly used footmarks.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Actually, spin looked like to saw in that first over. You have to make the running as a batsman. A lot of premeditation. If Moeen Ali didn't bowl a bad ball, he didn't. Morris is someone who slides it on around 80 odd miles per hour, probably more at home salt.
Lots of wrist, lots of bottom hand from both of these players. Lots of young bowling talent out of Worcestershire. Pat Brown, Dylan Pennington in the side tonight. One interesting aspect of this Sussex side is that runs have been shared quite throughout this top five. Salt 334, Luke Wright 360, Laurie Evans 315. Just spanked from Luke Wright. Almost as though he knew what Charlie Morris was going to bowl before he bowled it. First boundary of the evening.
Well, that sounded sweet out of the middle of that bat. He always has plenty of bat speed as Luke Wright. That has flown away. That's what he likes to do, give himself a...
Just spanked from Luke Wright. Almost as though he knew what Charlie Morris was going to bowl before he bowled it. First boundary of the evening.
Well, that sounded sweet out of the middle of that bat. He always has plenty of bat speed as Luke Wright. That has flown away. That's what he likes to do, give himself a bit of room so he can get you through the offside. He's got a good bat in his hands. That has flown away.
Skidded onto him a little bit, got it high on the bat. I mean, you saw some blistering striking yesterday from the two Nottinghamshire openers. I mean, looked amazing on the telly when watching.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere. Those shots that Alex Hales in particular was playing into the crowd, and you just see it go up into the night sky. Such a good player, Alex Hales. Just feel it's such a waste at times as well.
Backward square.
And talking about players who can play, Phil Salt is certainly one of those. Look at this shot. Look at the finish as much as anything else. That is so good. You always look for young players. Can you play the short ball? That's not quick. Just under 83 miles per hour, but he's so quick.
This time just sedately played. 16 without loss after two. It looked like he'd been, you know those set of highlighter pens that you can get? Reckons he was bored over lunch one day. Would you have been the multi-colour glove type or the outlandish green boot?
I never do anything, wear anything loud really. One, because I couldn't pull it off, but also I just think if I
disappointed. Bit of width. Yeah, you can see it. The wind is slightly with Pennington, bowling up the hill. Yeah, so behind Pennington, slightly off to the right-hand side as well. Oh, that's well timed as well. Fine leg up inside the circle. Sussex on the charge. Dragged a little bit. What are you telling them now then? Changes of pace, slower balls already?
Yeah, I think so. Problem is they both play slightly differently as well. Luke Wright generally will look to go through the offside more. Sort will use that bottom hand, bring you into the leg side with the pull shot. So you get not a new batsman, but now right on strike. Do you keep with the same plan? Try and hit the top of off. Maybe middle stump to Luke Wright. Might give you a fraction more margin, not quite as quick on the back of a length ball.
There you are. You can just see exacerbating the point made by Rob Key, just trying to force it through that offside. Look how open those stumps are, and as you say, how much he gets outside of the leg stump. It's a really good matchup, they're saying. Granted, all of those Worcestershire absentees. I just feel that after them winning it last year, they're quite defined roles within the side. They know their roles, well organised. Oh, good one. Oh, well, I thought the umpire had called it, but as it is, they're happy with it. 3 overs gone, 26 without loss.
2019 Mazda CX-5. Available with 4.1% APR representative. Drive together.
Leading wicket taker last year for the Worcestershire Rapids. Leading wicket taker this year as well. Pat Brown. 14 wickets this season. Knuckleball specialist. Edged. Has it carried? Has it carried? No. And Ben Cox wasn't quite sure. The nick was a definite one. 66 miles an hour. It might just not have the legs.
Well, that's the problem when the slow ball, the knuckleball, comes down. Let's have a look here. Just see, just floats out of his hand. Not sure if this angle will tell us much. Now we need to see it again from front on. Oh, it looks like, I reckon that's just bounced in front.
Touch and go though, it's a lot closer than I thought it was. Umpire Alex Wharf. Well run.
Just keep watching Pat Brown. You always got to watch his hands as he's running in. The very first ball, he held it right in the tips of his fingers. I reckon you could see that as a batsman. Then that ball, the quicker one, he had it more deeper into his hands.
Is that where you're checking it as a batsman? In the run-up?
I think that's what you have to do.
Right.
You could just see something where he just holds it. Just watch for him, but he can change it up and he can bluff you. You've got to watch him almost start here, especially when someone like Pat Brown, who you know's got those balls. So just keep watching him all the time. That's what you've got to do. Now this one's deeper in his hands again.
outside edge. And that's the pace, 84 miles an hour. It's things like that, when little indicators, batsmen, you've spotted it. Sometimes bowlers run up with the ball in the left hand or transfer it during the run up or even hide it. Adam Hollyoak used to do that, just to not give any idea to the batsman what was coming down.
No, stay there.
Just slightly slower. Always keeps you thinking though, Pat Brown.
The problem is at times you see him just cover the ball just in the last few steps.
Oh, high in the air, an opportunity. Steepler and shelled. Charlie Morris, the culprit. It's been a really good over from Pat Brown. High pace as well, 87 miles an hour. Caught Phil Salt by surprise.
Not played this year in the Blast. Morris only played, well, what is only his 5th game in T20 cricket. And that is the problem. When you get out in the field, all of a sudden it is on. T20 cricket more so. You play championship cricket. There's not as much pressure as there is in this.
Managed to thread it through as well, generating all the pace from those fast hands of his. A good over spoiled at the end. 4 overs have gone, 33 without loss. There's a guy who strikes at around about 160. Such a big drop.
Yeah, there's an element of consistency as well to Phil Salt. Not the first time we've seen him do this. Generally because he stands pretty still. Doesn't move around a huge amount.
Switching to the C-Heads, number 31, Charlie Morris.
We've seen some very good young batsmen in T20 cricket this year. Tom Banton, the best. There's been a few around. Phil Salt is one of those.
Again, another name that will be talked about, I'm sure, come World T20 time. Morris is back. Well, it's good that he can see the funny side as well. A little slower to get up these days.
Quite a back of the hand slower ball. Lou Wright swinging himself off his feet trying to reach that ball.
Find a textbook with that in it. Hammered away. Just in the right slot.
Wright does not die wondering. Seen that so often, all around the world as well, wherever he's played. Out to the leg side, smashes it through the offside.
Just thinking with that room that he's giving himself, worth maybe changing the angle, coming round to him perhaps?
I think sometimes you almost got to roll the dice, and if you do see him, then go the other way and just actually bowl it wide of that off stump. It's sort of counterintuitive. All a question of whether you can see him.
Hit hard. Phil Salt was charging down. Got sent back fairly swiftly. Yeah, there's many that are going to be talked about, as you mentioned, Banton and Salt. Plus many of those already. Both one-day international players and T20 players for England. That's well done. Ricky Vessels a backward point. And also there's new competition coming next year and a draft upcoming at the back end of the year.
What's that competition called?
Now, slight change. Out goes deep mid-wicket. Third man up inside the circle. So a ring of 5 on the offside. Owen does well. How different it will look. Salt was back after the Morris drop.
Now you start to look. The slower balls have been much harder to play. You see that already. He's got himself to bowl a bit of spin, bit of Darryl Mitchell to bowl real phantoms as pace off. Pat Brown with lots of change-ups. Going to have to be smart. Sort of 80 mile an hour is going the journey.
Another short ball and another good one from Worcestershire. 5 overs gone, 39 without loss.
Makes playing shots like that just a little more simple. Been mighty impressive again tonight, Phil Salt. Pitch you'd enjoy bowling on, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit over towards us. The TV games we have to play in these central ones, which do tend to have a little bit more pace. We often find ourselves over the far side of the square, which are the older, more used pitches. These are the ones where the lads normally play championship cricket on.
Picked up and dispatched. Not too much wrong with the delivery.
Yeah, brilliant shot from Phil Salt. He's a really, really talented player. Showed some real flashes last year in the T20 Blast. Has been a lot more consistent this year. Just waited for the ball. It's a short boundary this side, only 52 metres we've got upstairs on the board, so it's a really short boundary. To the leg side if you bowl it down the hill. Brilliant timing nonetheless.
The first things I look at when I see opening batsmen in one-day cricket, I'm thinking, can they hit the good balls for 4? Put bowlers like Pennington and Pat Brown under pressure, because if you're hitting their best deliveries for 4, then it makes them think again.
Phil Salt happy with that call, the crowd. Home crowd happy with that also. So what happens when you get pulled for 4, you then go down the leg side for a wide. You overcompensate, you try and push it a little bit further outside the off stump this time. Just
that's my point, really. I mean, there you go. As a bowler, you're giving the bowler's view, I'm giving the batter's view, and it just puts you under a little bit of pressure. Another sellout here. All the home games have been sold out bar 1. Terrific place to come and watch T20 cricket.
Yeah, the crowd have been brilliant here. As you say, every game bar 1 sold out. I think that one game was a Tuesday night game or something, so obviously the crowd's never going to be quite as good, but yeah, luckily we've treated them to some really good games this year. We've been good at home. We were pretty poor at home last year, so this year it's been nice to put on a good show.
There's just an indication there of the carry that we've got in this surface. Just a little too high on this occasion. Middle of the bat, and too powerful for Moeen Ali. He was on the edge of the circle, but it was hit too firmly.
Yeah, another brilliant shot from Luke Wright. Knew that this ball had to be pitched up. So Pellington uses one for the over. Moeen Ali was half interested for a minute. physicality wasn't really there. A little skip down the wicket and a full flurry of the bat from Luke Wright. And the 50 up for Sussex.
Unconventional, but he'll take it. Somehow he got some bat on it. One over that is to finish the power play. 16 from it, 55 without loss.
He's actually done that a few times this year, Luke Wright, because he gives himself a little bit of room to the leg side, so he wants to access everywhere on the pitch, but then if the bowler does throw it out wide, he's able to catch up, as you see there, giving himself room. It's been a real staple of his innings so far. Phil Salt plays some really nice shots. These two put together a really good partnership for the home side. 55 for North, coming out of the power play. They're going to continue to come hard. A little chance here, or a big chance, I should say. Charlie Morris dropping it, first game of the competition. How costly could that be for the Worcestershire Rapids?
I'm looking forward to seeing this last shot, I reckon we're going to show in a minute. And, off the last ball. That one there. 8 fours and a 6. Very impressive. Both captains at the toss, so they wanted to have a bowl first, so Luke Wright, though, won't be unhappy with the position his side are in at the moment.
30 seconds.
I mean, back into the attack.
Push him though.
What would the feeling be there, then? Why would both captains want to have a bowl first?
Yeah, it's been the thing to do here because the pitch generally does get better under lights. The ball definitely skids on. There's been a few games where it's been a bit dewy in the outfield as well, come this kind of the back 10 overs of the second innings. So Luke Wright and Phil Salt will know that. That's why they'll want to go hard now. You're going to need a little bit more than that pass score of 165 to have a chance of defending it later on tonight.
Nice,
He wants to do well to get back for 2 there. Not a big boundary. Looking, the average scores in the Blast have come down this year. They've been steadily climbing over the last few years. I think 172 a couple of years ago, 175 last year, and the average score this year is 165.
I think it might be bowlers as well with this standard of bowling maybe getting a little bit better. More guys being a bit more exposed to high kind of profile situations, high pressure situations. As a bowler, I think it's a good thing. And I think a bit of credit has to go down to the bowlers.
Go, 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 go. Stay there. Go.
Absolutely. We tried to do that last night in the game we covered at Trent Bridge. Nottinghamshire, the Notts outlaws were quite brilliant with the ball. Middlesex struggled and they were nowhere near their best with the bat. Again, the shout of 2. This time it finds the gap and they come back nicely. Good awareness.
Yeah, good running. Luke Wright's having a chat to his partner Phil Salt. It's a good effort to get 2s here. It's not a big field. Ed Barnard is good pick up and throw. Would have been interested for a minute. In fact, would have gone.
Bit of turn there. So 7 from Moen's second over, 62 without loss.
This is the Riviera, darling. People get away with everything.
Can Ferrari make it back-to-back victories on home soil? Formula One Heineken Italian Grand Prix qualifying. Sky Sports. Feel it all.
Ed Barnard. What's the situation with you and your injury? If you win tonight and get to finals day, will you be playing or not? What's the situation?
There's a chance. Won't make any promises. I'll try not to get too far ahead of myself. I'm I've been pretty bored the last kind of 3 weeks, month, just having to watch the boys whilst I'm doing work in the gym. But yeah, we got a scan booked on Monday lunchtime, and we'll go to see the specialist afterwards, see how the scan's looking, and then we'll make a decision from there. But nothing set in stone.
Sliced away. Boundary's not big here. Another boundary. Yeah, he says, well, perhaps not where I was intending, but I'll take it.
Take it indeed. Sussex going really well now. 67 for naught. This is what happens when you really go through with a shot. You get that little bit of luck, and the ball just slices away. So it runs down the hill away from us. Luke Wright moves on to 27.
Balls, Barney boy. Oh, you cock.
Good take. So if you get through the final stage, possibly you, quite possibly Jofra Archer. Rashid Khan, will he be available?
I don't think so. Afghanistan have got a tri-series with Bangladesh and Zimbabwe, I think it is, so we're not expecting to have him back. Alex Carey as well, this will be his last game. All the Australians have got to go back for the start of their 50-over competition.
Right.
But Jofra will be back. They schedule finals there, don't they? So all the England players can show out. So yeah, Joff's always keen to come back and play for us. So hopefully we can get him another big game for us.
Things going well at the moment. Moeen Ali at the toss said, yeah, we fancy a chase. We think batting might get a little bit more straightforward later on.
No.
Yeah, you'd say there'd be a bit of pressure on Moeen Ali tonight. There are a few players like Worcestershire for various different reasons. So the likes of himself, Ross Whiteley, Ben Cox this afternoon, there's going to be a bit of pressure on them.
Seven from the over 8 gone, 69 without loss.
Take off for New York with Expedia. You can book your flight, hotel, car hire and activities all in one place. Everything you need to go. Expedia, atoll protected.
Daryl Mitchell, PCA chairman. We're often getting emails and texts from him updating us on what's going on, but focusing on matters with the ball for the time being tonight.
Finds the gap, finds the boundary. What a shot, he just picked his spot.
Yeah, this could be an interesting over. Daryl Mitchell bowling up the hill, so the batsman hitting down the hill here at Hove. It's the end, everybody wants to bat. Wouldn't be surprised if Phil Salt keeps looking to attack Daryl Mitchell here. Could be seen as a weak link in the attack. Not going to let him settle and just kind of put his little cutters down there and try and get away with a cheap over.
Goes again. That's great work in the deep. Pat Brown, I think it was, yeah, down there. One of those you're not quite sure whether you should go for the catch, but in the end he makes a wise decision to save the boundary.
Yeah, they're horrible ones. You think, you've not got long to think about it. Do I go for the catch? Do I sit back? And he did well in the end, Pat Brown. Phil Salt keeps going. Even bigger that time. Really good shot from Phil Salt, and he goes to his 50. 52 not out now from 31 balls. Salutes the crowd. We thought he was going to attack Daryl Mitchell. He certainly is. Going back to Cal corner again. Sussex going really well now, 83 for naught.
No! On him, support! Bang, bang together, lads!
Outside off from Daryl Mitchell. Also able to fetch it, such as the lack of pace, 72 metres, which is more than enough on this ground. Boundaries no more than 55, 60 metres at Hove. See how Luke Wright looks to attack the end of the over.
Touch!
Attack he does, but he might be out. Here's Ed Barnard caught. Luke Wright looking to follow suit. Wasn't quite able to get as much as his partner, and he has to go. And Sussex lose their first wicket.
Yeah, clever bit of bowling, just took the pace off. It was a bit of a gamble to bring him into the attack. He's still gone for 15 with the ball to go, but they finally make the breakthrough. Luke Wright has played really well, 28 from 22. Simple catch in the end, but boy did they need that. Excellent partnership between the top two. The captain goes for 28, 84 for 1.
28 from 22 balls. New bat for the Sussex Sharks, number 32, Laurie Evans.
See Moeen Ali and Ben Cox having a chat. Be an important period for their team now. Batsman did cross, so Phil Stoll will take strike again from Daryl Mitchell. And he'll keep the strike for the next over. Good over for Sussex, despite losing the wicket. 16 runs from it, Sussex 85 for 1.
Sussex Sharks 85 for 1, 2 sixes in that over.
See that wicket again, really held back from Daryl Mitchell. Luke Wright looking to fetch to the leg side, as Phil Stoll did earlier in the over. Ed Barnard comfortably taking the catch.
Hammered away.
Salt motoring now. Spotted the slow ball from Pat Brown. Slightly short, was able to wait for it. Leaned back and really slapped it through the offside. It's that bottom hand coming through.
Now, if you're watching on Sky Sports Mix, you're going to be going very shortly to the Euro qualifiers. That's Germany against the Netherlands. So if you want to keep watching the cricket and you're on Sky Sports Mix, you're going to need to tune in to the Ashes channel, channel 404.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.
We made an oath.
If it ever comes back, we'll come back to you.
For 27 years, I dreamt of you.
See that?
Against the Netherlands. So if you want to keep watching the cricket and you're on Sky Sports Mix, you're going to need to tune in to the Ashes channel, channel 404.
Laurie Evans, the new man. Was brilliant for Sussex last year, the leading run scorer in the whole competition. He flies off to St Kitts tomorrow. He's playing in the CPL.
Oh, it's a tough life.
So Alex Hales was on an early flight as well this morning.
Decent pace. I'm pleased for Laurie Evans. He's been a very good T20 domestic player for a good while now. It's good that he's getting picked up in some of these leagues and he's got an opportunity to go and play and show what he can do.
Yeah, for sure. Last year was a real breakout year for him. He was consistent. It was almost like every game you can go and book him in for a 50. It was really nice for us. CS stats this year, still averaging 39. A strike rate of just under 140. So he's had a brilliant couple of seasons for us, and as you say, getting recognition around the world.
It's a nice matchup with these two, not Phil Salt, but Laurie Evans against Pat Brown. You compare how they did last year, and you can say the same about Pat Brown. Outstanding leading wicket taker. He too has had another decent year. Not the stellar year that he had last year, but it's never easy to back that up, as you were saying about Laurie Evans. He's still had another good year.
Yeah, I like Pat Brown. He obviously had an amazing year last year. He was the talk of everybody, and I think after they beat us in the final last year, good fielding. Yeah, as I was saying, sorry, Worcester beat us in the final. I'd never really come across Pat Brown before, but came and sat down with myself and Chris Jordan and Jofra Archer and was just asking questions about bowling, asking questions about, he obviously had an eye on the different leagues around the world in the winter. He'd put his name in the draft. He was asking what that's like, what the experiences are, what it's like bowling in different conditions. So, yeah, he seems like he's a really good kid. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's obviously an extremely talented bowler.
Height and perhaps going down a little bit, but Pat Brown needs convincing of that. Another decent over though, 94 now for 1 from 10.
Halfway stage and Sussex will be delighted. So 1 wicket to fall. A more than healthy run rate. The hybrid to continue. Smart work from Cox. Darryl Mitchell describes himself not quite spin, not quite medium pace. Bit of both.
We used to have a name for that in the Surrey leagues back in the day. It was filth.
Catch!
That filth has gone a long way. Picked up a wicket in the previous over just like that, but that just sat up and begged to be smashed.
One thing that Darryl Mitchell very rarely does is drag the ball down. Actually forces you into putting the pace on the ball, trying to hit the ball down the ground. He'd be absolutely furious with himself for that delivery.
They spread far and wide there in the hospitality.
There was plenty of room over there as well. Good behind the stumps in the Ben Cox. Neat and tidy.
Same result, dragged down. This time, those with drinks in hands are a little safer.
Yeah, this is trouble for the Worcestershire Rapids. Champs have been shorn of some of their more reliable performers. Somebody like Wayne Parnell might be bowling at this moment in time, or at least Moeen Ali would have that option to try and take a wicket, break a partnership, make something happen. But at the moment he's trying to fill in and trying to use up overs, get away with overs.
It's gone high and taken. Tell you what, the symmetry from the Darryl Mitchell overs is alarming. Getting spanked for a couple of sixes and then picking up the wicket, and he's picked up 2 very, very important ones.
Yep, something else they say in T20 leagues around the world is that filth can get wickets.
Well edited.
He managed to get the ball full, force the batter into hitting the ball down the ground. That's what he usually does, and it's paid off for him beautifully. Terrific innings from Phil Salt, his 4th half-century of the campaign. 72 from 40 for him is 108 for 2.
New batsman for the Sussex Sharks, number 4, Alex Carey.
Well, another fabulous player comes to the crease. Alex Carey, left-handed South Australian, plays for the Strikers, Big Bash League. 14 runs already coming from this over. A couple of wides thrown in there as well, but Daryl Mitchell's picked up both of the Sussex openers. Phil Salt and Luke Wright back in the hutch. 2 relatively new batters at the crease. Carry off the mark. I will throw this at you. Daryl Mitchell's bowled 10 balls. He's gone for 30 runs. So obviously fantastically expensive, but is it worth it with his 2 wickets?
Come on, 2 in the set here, bud. 2 in the set.
If he were to get another 2, yeah. I mean, at the moment, Sussex are flying, aren't they? Best way that Worcestershire can slow them down is by getting more wickets, but...
Nice.
2 wickets have merely slowed them down a touch. Still got 9 and a bit overs to go. 2 guys at the crease now are in terrific form. 2 really good players. The openers have got them off to a flyer.
Brilliant from Carey. He waited just that extra split second for it to come to him. Dispatched into the cow corner crowd. End of the 11th over, 116 for 2.
In answer to your question, I think Sussex are quite happy he's bowling.
Oh, sir. What could have been? What could have been?
Thought it was Sir Tim Rice for a second. Doesn't look like him in profile, but from front on.
Oh, don't cry for him. Now, those of you who were watching on Wednesday would have seen both myself and Mark up at Durham.
Come on, the lad.
The temperature was slightly different than it is this evening. I think both of us, it's safe to say, have prepared.
Not taking any chances tonight. And I've got to go and see a man about something over in Kempton after the game as well.
What I am enjoying thoroughly are these super, super soft leather driving gloves that you're wearing.
Just for a bit of extra purchase.
Meant to be quick.
Tell you what, if winter continues to close in the way it has done in the first week of September, it's going to be one hell of a day on finals day on the 21st.
Might have to get one of those garden heaters in the pod. Barbecue. Oh, it's top edge. An opportunity which is safely pouched by Cox. And Carey departs.
Oh, it's what they need. It really is. Worcestershire taking wickets. Ed Barnard, smart cricketer, has come on and deceived Carey with that change of pace. The field was up. He was looking for that space, the wide open spaces behind the man up inside the circle on the 45, but the slower ball deceived him. He could only spoon it straight up in the air. He's gone for 8. It's 119 for 3 now.
moment touched his bat. So Sussex 119 for 3. The 12th over. The skipper's come in. Evening, Lou. Well batted.
Yeah, not too bad. Just felt I hit the fielders a little bit. There's a few shots in there I thought were for, but yeah, no, we've had a good start. Obviously, important now to build again and get a partnership between these two.
Nice, Barney.
I'll try and push the second here. Two fielders converging. It's been an aspect of your play this year that actually runs have been shared around quite a lot throughout, rather than having two that go big over the course of a season.
Yeah, and I think that's important, isn't it? You know, often we see it when two just get going, as you said, and then if they miss out on a big game like tonight, then you know, you've got to rely on others. But look, you know, we've all dovetailed really well. David Weiss has been unbelievable, Nick, all year, so hopefully he'll carry on that tonight.
Usually is on the telly. Oh, he's gone! First ball! What a delivery from Barnard! The perfect Yorker! And Visa is the fourth to go.
Oh, Ed Barnard is another man who seems to perform whenever the cameras are around, whether with bat or ball. This is an absolute crackerjack of a Yorker. Big David Visa unable to get that huge piece of timber down in time.
Right after seeing those two departures.
Yeah, kiss of death for me. I mean, it was going to take something special to get Dave out. As I said, in the form he's been in, and that's a pretty special ball. It's not the sort of ball you want first up. So sometimes you just have to say well done and good piece of bowling. So credit to Barnard there.
Nice, brother.
What's working out there? If you're the bowling side, what have you picked up from the pitch that you might take into the second innings?
Yeah, we found it actually a little bit too paced. I think just the change-ups, you know, they were trying to bowl a few slow balls early, probably just gave us a little bit too much width, but I think just changing up on the pitch we found. But yeah, I feel like we got that, such a good start, it's got us a little bit ahead of the game, so you're able now just to try and build something now.
Delray Rawlins, his first delivery.
Yeah, needs something special from Delray. We know that he's capable of playing the most attractive, eye-catching strokes of any given day. They need something a bit more from him tonight. See David Visa, what a delivery that was.
Yes, Mark. Nice.
Talented boy, Delray, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and you know, he's someone that we've identified that we rate so highly. So it's just about giving these young kids a chance. And look, like anyone, you know, senior players that make enough mistakes, but young players especially going. So we've backed him in all the way, and we're getting the rewards.
Frosto.
The knock he played in the last game was unbelievable, and I think, you know, it's those rewards you look for as a captain when you keep picking someone. And you know, we've seen it, he's so eye-catching, and I know higher up the levels they're definitely looking at him, but he's just starting to work it out, and fingers crossed he can on TV tonight.
Catch!
Just chipped him to space. He is eye-catching, he's elegant, he's got a huge array of strokes. What did need to click for him, or what does?
I think it's just those picking the moments. I think, you know, like anything, players, when they're so talented, have all the shots, they want to go off and show everything, and it's just picking the moments, the right times, picking your bowlers. You know, right now you've obviously got a quality bowler in Mo, so just picking those moments I think is important.
Should be just a single to finish things off, so a tidy over from Moeen Ali. 5 runs coming from it, 13 gone, 125 for 4.
Can Ferrari make it back-to-back victories on home soil? Formula One Heineken Italian Grand Prix qualifying. Sky Sports, feel it all.
The 100th NFL season on Sky Sports. Feel it all.
Barnard continues. Very tidy figures. And just before we let you go, Luke, 126 for 4, 7 to go. Ideally,
Oh, I think we'd like to get up above 180 after the start we've got. Obviously, you know, hugely, we've got two very powerful batters in. It's just giving them a chance now, he said, to face a few balls before they go. But, you know, who knows? As I said, they're two such powerful players. Anything's achievable. But, you know, 180, I think you've got a good score on the board.
Just land safe. Well, thank you so much for coming in. Pleasure as always to have you nip in, especially in the middle of a game. So, good luck for the rest of it.
No problem. Cheers. Thanks.
Lovely, lads.
Well, Sussex still have Laurie Evans at the crease. 10 from 10. He's just playing himself in.
Get it. Nice.
And I think if you 127 for 4, if you add that sort of 10 and over from the last 5, sort of average for the last 5, then Sussex should comfortably make it to that 180 mark. And it will take some chasing down. Worcestershire be reliant on that top 3 or 4.
Throw was a little errant. Delray Rawlins a long way past the stumps. Well, this is what just take a look at what Moeen Ali has to play with his bowlers. He's got 1 remaining. Morris 2, Pennington 2, Brown 2.
Yeah, Brown will close things out. Either 17 and 19 or 18 and 20.
So Barnard will have 1 after this. Brown makes 3. Moeen makes 4.
2 to us.
Yeah, Pennington doesn't usually get much work done at the back end of the innings. A really good little spell here for the Rapids as Sussex rebuild. 130 for 4.
Well, last over costing just 5 again. Barnard 2 for 16 off 3. Played a really good role for the Rapids.
Win it down here, lads.
Phil Salt 72, dominating, especially considering he was dropped early in the piece. He's going to bowl his final 1, the captain.
Stay still.
Laurie Evans looking to unleash.
Yeah. Nice.
Just wonder if it might be a sensible policy just to be a little bit more sedate throughout the last Moeen Ali over.
What, mate? Yeah, brother Mo. Come on, this one straight to hand, eh? Halfway here, lads. Oh!
Just get a sense that this partnership here, Jordan down to come in 7, Robinson, Beard, Briggs, Topley, it looks a longish tail.
Mo! Good boy.
Yeah, I think from Sussex's point of view, wouldn't want to see Chris Jordan out there with
Good, lads. Come on,
more than 3 overs to go at the end. So really important that these two get themselves in.
Nice.
Laurie Evans will
Nice one, Chris, Mo.
keep his cool, hold things together, look to still be there come the
5 here, lads.
last 2 overs.
Shot for 5.
It's just a question of when Delray Rawlins decides to flick the switch.
Well, he's gone big. And the captain's underneath it himself and pouches it.
Well, this is brilliant stuff. It really is very good indeed. Darryl Mitchell started it, went for big runs, but he picked up a couple of wickets. And those wickets have opened the door for Moeen Ali and Ed Barnard to go storming through. And Sussex have gone from 119 for 2 to 133 for 5. Delroy Rawlins is the latest one to go. He goes for 5, it's 133.
for 5.
This is your captain speaking. The Virgin Atlantic sail is now on.
It's a very good period for the Worcestershire Rapids. Last ball of mowing spell.
Catch! Catch!
Well, Ricky Vessels did as much as he could. And Laurie Evans saw the ball and hit the ball. Dispatched the ball. 15 gone. 137 for 5.
It's always slightly more complicated when you lose wickets at the other end. Like the ante, you've got to keep on putting your foot on the pedal, Tamal, but then you can't afford to lose any more wickets, really.
Yeah, Mo and Ali bringing Pat Brown back into the attack. Maybe smelling a little bit of blood. Chris Jordan, the new man. You say this is a really big partnership now for Sussex. Laurie Evans has faced 17 balls now, so he's well set. Chris Jordan new to the crease.
And maybe the odd short ball. Lots of slower balls as well with this field. Or even just balls into the hip. You always feel, don't you, actually, it's probably more important for Jordan to get going quicker than Evans. If Jordan can take the pressure off Laurie Evans, he's in that spot where he wants to up the ante, but he's also got to be careful, got to hedge his bets.
Yeah, you'd say Sussex, if they're going to go well and get a good score in this quarter-final, Laurie Evans probably needs to be there right at the end of the game. So, as you say, Chris Jordan probably should be the one to go at it a little bit more. So then Laurie Evans, if he can finish 40 not out, 45 not out at the end of this game, then Sussex will be well on their way to a good total.
Well struck, be a couple. Knuckleball that he floated out of the fingers.
Floodlights in full effect. Definitely does get easier to bat here the further you go into the night. Ball definitely skids on a bit. Slow balls don't quite grip as much as what they did just under an hour ago.
Even if there's no dew?
Yeah, definitely is. Every game we've looked to bowl first here, because as you said, even if there isn't dew, for some reason the ball definitely does skid on that little bit more under the lights, and it definitely is a little bit, and especially with momentum when you're batting second on this pitch, you can really get going in that second innings.
Yeah, there's that slower ball. We've got a couple of slower balls at least. Quicker one, 87 miles per hour. That was a quick ball, especially with that fast arm. Just didn't quite carry to Luke Wright first up, but constantly changing his pace. Luke Wright was in the pod and actually said when the slow balls did come down, they were even coming out of the surface at different speeds.
Good over this from Pat Brown, stemming the flow. It runs nicely. Only 5 from the over so far. Big ball's always the last ball of the over is always a big one, isn't it? It's one of the ones. This goes for a boundary now. You're spewing. Your captain's not happy. You'd know as a captain, Keezy. That last ball, you bowl a brilliant over, 5 from it. Last ball goes for 4 or 6. You're in a bad mood. Bowler stomps off back to fine leg. He's in a bad mood.
I just never understand what's the point in bowling bad balls.
Ed Joyce is always the same. He couldn't understand bowling. Like, why would you bowl a half volley? Why would you do that?
Good shot. Really good shot. just hands. That last ball does go for a boundary. 9 from the over. 146 for 5.
Yeah, really good shot, Laurie Evans. Sat deep in his crease. Not a big boundary out to the leg side. Bisected the fielders perfectly. That last ball of the over does go for 4.
Bowling at the CS, number 31, Charlie.
Not been an easy night for Morris. 2 overs, 0 for 19. Drop catch as well. Well, this is a time where Evans says to Jordan, I reckon this is the man to target.
It's the end to target as well. We saw when Darryl Mitchell came on from that end. Batsman looking to hit down the hill. Will Jordan and Evans follow suit?
You never feel you get as much margin when you're bowling from this end. So the batsmen are heading down the hill, as you say, but also the short ball. Always feel that when they're heading out that way into the leg side, you feel like you've got a lot less to play with.
Yeah, the ball definitely doesn't always skip on as much when you're bowling this end. I always find when I'm bowling this end, you have to jump a little bit more in your jump gather, because it is a decent hill up the hill. There's probably not many grounds around the country with a steeper hill north to south as it is in Hove. So it does take a little bit of difference, especially if you're in a away side. Worcester would have barely played here for the last few years. Definitely not in T20, obviously.
Excellent slow ball. Can't quite get it completely out the back of his hand.
Yeah, it's just a good leg cutter, isn't it? Following it out wide outside the off stump. Trying to hide it. Doesn't get hit back down the ground.
Dismissal in the end. The crowd was silent. There was barely an appeal. Oh, excellent bowling. The bouncer on this occasion works. That is a big wicket. Morris is only playing in his, well, it's his first T20 game for 3 years. This is a big over. So far he is delivering.
Yeah, it's good bowling. A couple of slower balls, the start of the over, a few dot balls, followed up by a good bounce. You see Chris Jordan not in control of the shot at all. I must admit, I did hear a little tickle. I didn't say anything, but I heard a little noise, as did Ben Cox, and as did the umpire. And Chris Jordan's got to go. Out for 2. Sussex 146 for 6.
Well, I think that almost did everyone, really. Umpire was late in giving the call behind. The Rapids barely appealed, really. Ben Cox just caught it as if to say, well, that's just out. Just hear a little sound then. Ben Cox, the keeper, that was just a regulation dismissal. I don't think he felt he had to even appeal. Robinson. A good year with the ball in red ball cricket. Ollie Robinson bowling a lot of overs.
Good's an understatement, Keezy. The bloke takes wickets all day. I think he got 13 in the match recently against Middlesex. Getting a good run in the T20s this year.
Well, this is a brilliant over so far. 1 run from it and the wicket. Oh, how well has he timed that? Slow ball out the back of the hand with no pace to work with.
That leg cutter again from Morris. Really well weighted by Laurie Evans. Watched it right under his eye line. Just enough width outside off stump. Slapped it past the man at backward point. A much needed boundary for the Sussex Sharks.
Yeah, he's got a cool head, as Laurie Evans. He needs it at the moment. Does well. Good slow ball. held out of the big shot, but he keeps the strike. 6 from the over, a good one from Morris, 152 for 6.
Take off for New York with Expedia. You can book your flight, hotel, car hire and activities all in one place. Everything you need to go. Expedia, atoll protected.
Well, they're creeping up to a good score on this after the start they had when Salt and Luke Wright were going. You were looking towards 200. Whether they get up to 180 depends on Laurie Evans, really. Start of the competition, when you were playing tomorrow, when you had Rashid Khan, people like that, you felt that anything 160 you could defend on any surface, really. Not quite as straightforward now. It's a problem with the blast, the length of the blast at times. Players come and go, lots of injuries happen.
Yeah, potentially you're right. Obviously we had Jofra Archer for a few games, Rashid Khan, as you said. But you still look at the bowling attack of Sussex, there's still plenty of internationals. Reece Topley's been brilliant coming back from injury this year. Danny Briggs has played for England. Will Beer's been excellent. He's come in since Rashid Khan's had to go back to play for Afghanistan. So we know if Sussex can get a score on the board, the bowlers will go out there with a lot of confidence.
You're allowed to say we.
I'm trying to stay impartial, but I'm struggling.
Got a Sussex jacket on.
Chilly here, mate.
Yeah, lads. We need for a dot here, Barney.
Good shot. There's Laurie Evans back on strike.
Yeah, boys. Let's go 7, lads.
Excellent Yorker. Just shows you, even at the pace, what, 78.3 miles per hour. Still get a good Yorker right in. There's not much anyone can do to it.
Yeah, 100%. He's an impressive cricketer, isn't he, Ed Barnard? He's got plenty of skills. Plays in the Championship as well. Right in that block hole. He's bowled a brilliant spell so far tonight. 2 for 20. With 1 ball still to go. Took a couple of really important wickets. He's a really important cricketer for Worcestershire for a long time.
Yeah, excellent over, 157 for 6. Barnard is done. Brilliant spell from him. Brilliant 4 overs. 4 overs, 2 for 21. Just worked out the surface very quickly. Keeper came up to the stumps and he just thought pace off. That's what Worcestershire do well. They work out surfaces. Rapids have a fairly inexperienced attack, or a young attack. But they just have enough. They have the slow balls. Not just one pace, they can just change it up just when needed. Third man up, fine leg up.
Come back well here. Charlie Morris had a bit of a shocker earlier, dropping Phil Salt in the power plays. First over was expensive as well, but since then he's come back really well. Bowling up the hill, mixed up his pace really well, as you see, majority being slower balls. Mainly a leg cutter from what we've seen. Started off this over with a good Yorker. Game finally poised with a couple of overs left to go.
Has he got enough of it? Well, didn't pick it up down at long on. Looks like Ricky Vessels. Whether he lost it in the lights, you just saw him at one point just leave his both hands up as if to say, I've lost it. See him trying to really use that bottom hand. Excellent Yorker again.
Yep, credit to the bowler, really good delivery. Laurie Evans managing to get off strike to build up dot balls. Just low full toss, but still a really, really good ball. You're trying to attack, you're going to do well to hit that for a boundary.
Well, that's hit better. Excellent fielding, going to parry it up to himself.
Yeah, they've been brilliant the last 6-7 overs. The Worcestershire Rapids, both for the ball and in the field. Pulled it back for their team really well after the start that Sussex got up to. So Ricky Vessels thought it might have gone for a boundary, but Barnard, a brilliant bit of work. Sweeping round, flicking it up to himself. Saving 2 runs.
Oh! Just thought it was going to go straight down his throat. It just kept on travelling, just enough.
Watching the boundary for Sussex. So they looked for a long time as if Barnard was going to get that. He might have just overcommitted a little bit in off the boundary. Hit well enough from Ollie Robinson's short ball. Barnard looked like he had it covered. In the end, just misses it over his head for 6.
Yeah, I reckon that was a slight misjudgment. Absolutely right. Just came in just one step too many. He was right on the cushion. He could have held it. Better over for Sussex, 169 for 6.
169 for 6. Meanwhile, coming up shortly, and through that interval, even all-time series.
Good work from Ollie Robinson. 13 not out off 7. Have a look at that 6 again. Yeah, he was definitely set, thinking he was going to catch that. Still thinking about it now. One of the worst feelings. Dropping a catch on the boundary, especially away from home.
It's all right if you're playing club cricket, because if that happened to me then, I would just, you just say definitely 6. It's when you come in a little bit and it goes over your head and goes for 4.
On the way, every ball on the Cromwell Road by number 36.
One of the young guns of the Rapids are in the heart of the game. Pat Brown bowling at the death. Got the last over, stat on our WhatsApp group from Richard, our stats man. A target of 171 or more has only been chased down successfully 4 times at Hove, and not since 2014. One caveat on that, Somerset chased 170 this year with 3 balls to spare. Think's a par score, this surface, you know the ground well.
Par score, you'd probably say Sussex just above.
Even now?
I'd say so. 165, you'd probably say. You'd probably walk off pretty happy. These are bonus runs now, even though it is getting better to bat on, you'd say. So 5 balls still to go. Big 5 balls for both sides.
Yeah, lost a couple of batsmen as well. No Martin Guptill, no Rutherford, people that they've had at times. Oh, good from Cox. Straight away, he stopped the chance of Laurie Evans getting down to face the last 4 balls.
Another good knuckle ball. Completely fooling Ollie Robinson, and as you say, really good work from Ben Cox. Quick on his feet, looking for the run-out opportunity. Laurie Evans was a long way down. He could probably have had a go if he wanted to.
You've got to watch Pat Brown's hands, watch his fingers. He changes it, but then you just see it in the load-up. Knuckleball. See if we can get them right. Test ourselves tomorrow. Just see at this point there you go.
A bit looser there, yeah.
And then it's at that point when he loads up. Easier on TV.
Yeah, you need to have it a little bit looser in your hands, so as you're gathering it back, you can bring your fingers back and your knuckles back behind the ball.
Trying to set up for the quicker ball. Does he change it? No.
No ball. Umpire Alex Waugh signalling the free hit. Assume it'll be for front foot. Not what you need at this time of the innings. Yeah, clear no ball. Good spot from the umpire. Been a good over so far. And this is a big ball for Sussex and for Worcester.
Oh, is he looking into that leg side? Lots of protection though. Well, it doesn't cost him much. You see how annoyed he is with himself. Absolutely right as well. It's so hard bowling at the death in T20 cricket. Just to give away a free hit like that when you're actually bowling really well. 2.2. Then that no ball, then just a single. Not only the free hit, the extra ball. Well, Laurie Evans is now on strike, 35 from 29. Been starved of it for the last couple of overs. Sounded sweet. Really good. Hit straight, hit hard. They get up to 180 with the ball to go.
Brilliant shot from Laurie Evans. He's played a really good hand here. It's been quite circumspect at the start. Pat Brown just missing his Yorker this time. Chucks it in the slot. Laurie Evans able to climb into it, hit it back up the hill at Hove. Sweet connection. The boundary off the penultimate ball of the innings.
What's he going? Knuckleball? Yorker?
Still got his bouncer this over as well. He's not used his bouncer so far. Does have protection on the leg side.
Oh, that is even better. All along the carpet. Don't even try and stop it, deep cover. Couple of boundaries to finish then from Laurie Evans, who played a gem of an innings under pressure. Wickets were going down all around him. He is 43 from just 31. They'll be happy with that, will Sussex. 184 for 6.
Yep, Laurie Evans taking the applause, and rightly so. Excellent knock, an excellent couple of deliveries to finish off the innings. He finishes 43 from 31. Ollie Robinson, a good hand as well, 18 from 12. Sussex will be really happy with their work. Phil Salt and Luke Wright at the start got their team off to a flyer. Little blip in the middle. Worcestershire bowled well. Darren Mitchell taking a couple of wickets. Ed Barnard also with a couple. The Sussex managing to get that momentum back right towards the end, and from their 20 overs finished 184 for 6. And Worcestershire got it all to do in the second half.
Yeah, Sussex will be happy. No side has successfully chased over 180 since 2010 at Hove. And only 2 sides have done it in Blast history on this ground. Excellent crowd down here on the coast. Very partisan crowd as well. Salt and Wright got him off to a fly. Phil Salt impressed yet again. Plenty of good young batsmen in the Blast this year. Salt 72 from 40. Luke Wright 28 from 22. Laurie Evans, as wickets fell all around him. Carey, Visa, Rawlins, Jordan. He hung in there, 43 from 31 to get him up to that 184.
And the bowlers, Moeen Ali was brilliant. 1 for 22, bowled in the power play. Chris Morris came back, Charlie Morris came back really well. Ended up going for 37. Pat Brown, a little bit more expensive for him today, 39 from his 4. Ed Barnard was excellent, 2 for 21. Daryl Mitchell picking up a couple of wickets, although very expensive in the middle.
Well, they're going to have to play very well, are the Rapids? They need 185 runs to win. Now, Nick Knight is always somewhere different. He's got to find a different location. No idea where he is now.
Thanks very much for that introduction, Keezy. We found the Sussex players' friends and family. We sort of gate crashed their party a little bit here. Anyway, they're in the background, and what I want to know from you, Butch, is how happy are they with that score on the ball?
Well, 184 is still going to take some chasing down in a quarter-final. It could have been so much better, couldn't it? But for the intervention of Daryl Mitchell, I suppose, even though he was expensive, you know, he sort of cracked open the opening partnership. But then that over from Ed Barnard, where he knocked over Alex Carey and David Visa for a golden duck, just stopped Sussex in their tracks. Otherwise, I think they were looking at 200 plus. So look, if what we hear from Tim Mills and from Luke Wright when he popped into the pod is correct, and the ball does slip on a little bit easier in the second half, Worcestershire have given themselves a lifeline, because I think that without those wickets in the middle, the Sussex could have put this one out of sight.
How well did he play? Phil Salt again in front of the cameras.
Yeah, really good, really good. I mean, you know, we're getting used to the sort of the way that he operates now, in terms of really looking to sort of get inside the line of the ball and heave it away onto the leg side. He's a very dangerous customer when the ball is brand new. Pretty fearless player, and you know, he's eye-catching. England have got a lot of players in white ball cricket, T20 and 50-over cricket, who are catching the eye at the moment, and he's just another one of them.
Well, Luke Wright said 180 when he came and joined us in the pod was the score they were looking for. I mean, they got off such a good start. He said they were ahead of the game. They're 108 for 1 of 10.3, so I guess he'll be happy as well.
Well, they ended up with, what, 60? They scored 60, 64, 63, 64 in the last 8 overs, which, given where they were, is a hell of an effort from Worcestershire to drag it back. So, listen, Worcestershire will be up there thinking, you know, yes, we're slightly depleted. We've lost some big players in our lineup, but we do have the players, Moeen Ali in terrific form. Remember that run chase at Edgbaston against the Bears, in terrific form. Ricky Vessels also. They do have the players that could chase this down, but they're going to need partnerships, and a start like the one that Sussex got will put them in the game.
I guess of all sides you can't write off, it's probably the Rapids, isn't it? The way they've performed in this format in the last year or two.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, Ben Cox, I think, has been reasonably quiet for his standards.